Welcome to Keepin' It Real, your go-to radio show for fresh insights and vibrant introductions. Get ready to dive into a world where we offer you the latest in real estate wisdom and the juiciest community tidbits. From expert advice courtesy of top realtors to opportunities to give back through local charities, we've got you covered. Plus, we'll shine a spotlight on the young athletes driving our local sports scene and uncover the buzzworthy happenings both in town and beyond. Stay tuned for a jam-packed hour of enlightenment and entertainment right here on Keepin' It Real.
What's in a name? Everything. Long Realty has been a cornerstone of Southern Arizona's real estate market for nearly 100 years. Our name is our bond, and our agents are our strength. Trust in the name that stands for experience and expertise. Visit longrealty.com or call 520-459-4993 to connect with an agent today. Long Realty. Smart move.
In a town with heart and history, the Sherry Ethell Team is the key. Serving service that we agree. For military law and retirees. Stress-free process you will see. Personal care is our guarantee. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team, we never halt. Real experts here to guide your way, making dreams come true every single day. Trusted team that knows just what to do. The Sherry Ethell Team, working for you. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team is your one and only call.
All right, good morning, good Saturday morning to you, and welcome to Keepin' It Real. Brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios, right behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard. I'm Dion Ethell. I'm your host today, and I'm joined in the studio with Aaron Hennequin. And Aaron is the owner-operator of Doc's Watering Hole.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
Right. We've got Diane Conner. Diane Conner, you are the vice president of the Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter, representing today.
Yes, I am. Hello, everyone.
So thank you for coming. And then we have Arlene Garcia, our Sierra Vista Police Department supervisor over at the Nancy J. Brua Animal Care Center. Welcome back to the show.
Hello, hello.
So it's been a little bit since our last conversation together as a group, especially about Pups on Parade. And that's what we're going to be talking about and what it all means and what we're hoping to do with it. First of all, let me thank Aaron for hosting us another year.
It's our pleasure. No, it's awesome.
So I love the fact that you guys do so many different charity events. In fact, the last one we were up at Stand Up for Freedom. The friends were there. And
that was pretty warm.
It was warm. Yeah. It was
a little windy for a while, too.
It was,
really
as soon as the tents went up, the wind picked up.
It was tough. It was tough, but it was good. And we always appreciate all the stuff that you do for so many different groups around our community. So just a center for community activity. Arlene, talk about some of the things that we expect to see at Pups on Parade this year. And why do we do this, I guess, first of all?
So Pups on Parade this year, I am so excited to be a part of this and to do this event this year again because it's been great. So we take the sheltered dogs out to Doc's Watering Hole and they do a little pageant. You know, they walk down the catwalk or, they show their stuff, you know. And we have a set of judges and the judges can pick which dog has the best wiggly butt, or who's the sweetest baby, or who's the most hyper. Oh gosh, we have so many silly little categories, but really it's just to bring these dogs out of the shelter, show them off to hopefully a group of people that might be interested in adopting.
That's a great point, too, because it is an adoption event. So there are dogs that are going to be there that could be adopted out. But it's also for anybody to show up and just have a good time, right?
Yeah.
So, one of the things I like about it is it kind of brings awareness to the issues that we have here in this community. And one of them being we have no shortage of dogs and cats needing a home, right?
That's right. And, we do get a lot of visitors at the shelter to take a look at the dogs, but sometimes they get overlooked. Sometimes they don't show as well in their kennel. And so bringing them out of their kennel and just kind of walking them in front of everybody with a volunteer willing to handle them. And you get to see a different side of them, a different side of the dog that you see in the kennel, maybe protecting its kennel or excited about getting out.
They're almost like different animals completely.
It is completely different. So, and usually when people come to the shelter and they come to visit and look at the animals, we tell them, don't be deterred by how they react in their kennel. Give them an opportunity. So let's take them out for a walk, get to meet them, spend some time with them in the play yard. And so Pups on Parade, we're showing off these dogs without you having to even come to the shelter.
Yeah, that's awesome. Diane, so you were Volunteer of the Year this past year, so you spent a lot of your hours volunteering there at the Nancy J. Brua Animal Care Center, and you see these dogs in their natural form there, right? What do you think about that? The whole business of it being so different and the animals, kind of letting loose and calming down outside of the kennel.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. When people are going through the courtyard to see the dogs, they're stressed out. The other dogs are barking. They're jumping around in their kennel, a lot of them, or some of them are very scared and hiding in the back. But you see them out on the weekends or the mornings with the dog walkers, and they come up to you and they'll sit for you. They'll shake your hand. They're just totally different dogs.
That's probably good. That's a good point. I mean, if you're at the shelter and you happen to be out there when the dog walkers are out there, take a look at those dogs because they're in a different mode, right?
Or if you see them at playgroup when they're out in playgroups on Tuesday, Thursday, or Sunday morning, then you can see them playing with other dogs and how they are just in normal circumstances. And even just this last 4th of July, the event that was at the park in the morning, we took 10 dogs out there, and my granddaughter is still talking about Dante because one of our great dog walkers, Robin, was showing and Dante would sit and shake and was just such a great baby out there. And, somebody just coming in and seeing Dante in the kennel isn't going to be able to see that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's a good point. That's a really good point.
So that's why it's so great to have them out of the shelter and over at docks. And
honestly, I mean, Aaron, this whole thing, I don't even remember exactly. Was it you who came up with the idea, or was it somebody else who came up with the idea originally?
No, you and Sherry.
I remember we were over there.
Yeah,
and I remember Kat Hardy was there too.
Yeah, and I came over and I said, hey, why don't we do a redneck Westminster Abbey?
Westminster
dog show. Yeah,
yeah. And I don't remember how we got started. I know that at one point I was like, man, let's do it with the shelter dogs. That would be really cool. And it just kind of spitball from there. We just came up with all kinds of different ideas, and it's become something now. We're already on our next one here, and so this is number 4, right?
That's right.
So, yeah,
because the first year we did it twice to kind of decide.
It was hot that first time.
Yeah, we
were
did
trying
it in
to
April
decide.
and then in November.
To figure out what was the best time, and I think November is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I remember that April when it was so warm, we were like throwing ice out
down on the fake turf.
Yeah, those poor pups, because it was so hot, and it was steaming hot, and so we were just trying to keep them cool and keep them happy, and it was difficult. So we decided it was best for the pups more than anything, but also good for the people who want to come because it's so much cooler during the
and
November
more room.
months.
Everybody can sit outside.
Yeah. And you get. It seems like now, with being in November, it's a little bit better time to get your dog out and walk around for those few people who want to come. And we got some rules and everything we want to talk about later on in the show if you do bring your dog, but. Even for the dogs that we have on display, it's nice to be able to have, cooler temperatures so that their paws and stuff aren't in the hot pavement and everything else. And we're going to have some really cool surprises, too, coming up that we're going to talk about that are going to be different this year. Some things that you'll get to see this year that you haven't got to see in any of the previous Pups on Parade. Aaron, one of the things that you do is you're always great in helping us kind of get everything set in motion to be able to shut off that back area and everything? Because we do this in the back of Doc's watering
So
hole,
originally
right?
we were going to do it on the dance floor. But
Right.
the health
I
department
remember.
came in and said, yeah, no.
Not
can't
gonna
do that.
happen.
Yeah,
'Cause
because
there's
we are a
food.
restaurant and
Yeah.
there's, order food. And
Okay.
Okay. So then we said, well, we'll just shut down the alley. And so we do that. We put the AstroTurf out on the pavement, and we have the velvet rope so the dogs come out of their refrigerated RV,
Right.
green room, and then they strut their stuff and then go right back.
And it's a great opportunity, too, to kind of talk about what to expect and everything. One of the things that we do is, maybe we start from the very beginning, is we got to get these dogs, ready. And that's a whole thing, right?
Yes, it is a whole thing. If it's a dog that requires grooming, we usually have some very, very nice groomers interested in sponsoring the grooming for the event. So we'll get the dog groomed. We'll make sure that they have their vest or their bandana or anything that make them look cute. We'll get the adoption trailer ready. I like to think of the adoption trailer as their little changing room trailer, or
Right.
kind of like movie stars or supermodels. They're in their little supermodel mode. And we get the volunteers all geared up too. Sometimes they like to wear hats or things that'll match with the dog that they're walking. The volunteers get so excited over this event. We get sometimes more volunteers than we have dogs needing walked, which is great, and we want that to happen.
And for your volunteers, tell us, who are those people? For those people who haven't been to one of these events yet, don't know what the process is over the Nancy J, what's that look like?
Yeah, so if you're interested in volunteering, not just for Pups on Parade, but anytime, as a matter of fact, right now we're looking for volunteers interested in helping us clean and work with our aluminum cans, which we can talk about later. But if you want to be a dog walker, a cat cuddler, or a play group monitor, you can come to the shelter, request a copy of our application form, fill that out. We will do a little background check just to make sure that you're not on America's Most Wanted, and to make sure that our animals are going to be safe. And then you'll be introduced to another experienced volunteer to help you, learn our procedures.
And how important are those volunteers to you? I mean, you have a lot of them, right?
We do, and it still still isn't enough.
It's not enough.
Right? The shelter, it's not open 7 days a week. But we need to be there 7 days a week because the animals, of course, need to
eat
be
and drink.
Yeah, they need to be fed, and we want their kennels to be clean every day. We pressure wash those kennels every day. But full-time staff, we have 5 animal control officers, which 2 of them are leaving to bigger, better things later on this month. 1 customer service representative, 2 kennel techs, and 2 part-timers to cover 7 days a week. It just is not enough. So those gaps are filled by volunteers like Diane, who happens to come in every Sunday to do a lot of our sorting and inventory. She helps clean, and we get volunteers to take the dogs out for walks or take them into the play yard. They need that enrichment. They need to get out of their kennel. They need that socialization, prevents them from becoming kennel crazy, makes them a little more adoptable. The volunteers just do so much, and we need them all for adoption events, for transports, for things like last weekend's 4th of July. We had the 10 volunteers each took out a dog to the Pets and People Promenade. That's what we need. We need those active volunteers to give the animals the attention that unfortunately the staff isn't always able to do because we are assigned other tasks that need to be done for them.
Wow. Well, more on that. I definitely want to talk a little bit about your operation out there.
Sure.
Talk a little bit about what it means to be a volunteer. Get your firsthand perspective, Diane, on that. But we want to do that right after the break. We'll be right back, folks, with Keepin' It Real, brought to you by Sherry Ethell and the team right here at Long Realty Studios.
Discover excellence in real estate with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty, your premier choice in Cochise County. Sherry's amazing team brings honesty, expertise, and a deep understanding of the local market. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned homeowner, they're committed to your peace of mind and handle every detail for you. Their approach? Personalized service. Above and beyond transactional real estate, building lifelong relationships, nationwide connections, local expertise. There's a reason this team is amongst the top realtors in Arizona and across the nation. You owe it to yourself to call or visit the Sherry Ethell Team, the top team at Long Realty, behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard in Sierra Vista. Call or text 717-599-2439 or Google us for more info. Real integrity, real results.
All right, welcome back. This is Keepin' It Real, brought to you by Sherry Ethell and the team right here at Long Realty Studios. I'm Dion Ethell. I'm your host. I'm joined with Diane and Arlene and Aaron, and we're talking about Pups on Parade. This is a great event that happens every year in November, and I guess we haven't even
talked about the date yet.
Oh. Let's throw that out there.
Yeah, let's do it. November 7th this year.
So November 7th, and we appreciate you locking in that date early because we wanted to start early.
Yeah.
This thing gets bigger and bigger every year, and we get more and more sponsors and participation, and so we really want to do it right and start early in our planning, and so we appreciate you locking that in.
Absolutely, yeah. November is usually a busy month, but this is a priority for us.
And that's kind of a tough thing all the way around, right?
Yeah.
Because we know that come September, school starts and everything, and it just seems like there's one event after another after another. And so it's just back to back, and it's really hard to squeeze something in, but we really wanted to get it in there before the holidays and at a time that's cool for the dogs and everything.
But you know what? It seems like it's a great time anyway, even if it's busy, because around, I think, the fall, you're getting closer to the holidays. People are in that giving mode. They're in that kind of lovey-dovey happy mode, you know? So I think it's just the right time for the animals to get some attention, and hopefully everybody is in that spirit of giving, whether it's by donating or giving an animal a home.
Well, so I want to talk about, where the money goes to that we do raise for this and how much we raise. But first, I kind of want to continue our conversation a little bit in talking about what to expect. And we talked about volunteers before the break, and prepping the dogs, getting them all ready, and then being able to transport them over to docks the morning of. And of course, there's so much planning goes into this thing. And I know one of the things that's big is you make these lists of dogs, who's going to be in the show. Because folks, if you haven't been there, what we do is we do a little dog show with 10 dogs, 10 show dogs out of the shelter. So they're handpicked by Arlene and her team. And then the rest of them, they'll remain at the shelter, but we don't forget them. We actually try to get them sponsored as well. And we talk about them and do all kinds of things with it. But it's an ordeal because those 10 dogs, they do get adopted from time to time, right?
Yes, it seems to be that every time we do this event, it's almost like a blessing in disguise. We pick the 10. You get the pictures done for them. We get their little posters done. You get them all set up with a sponsor, and then before the event, they get adopted. So we pick another one, and then another one, and another one, which is great. That's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem, yeah.
It is. But the volunteers, they get to pick like their favorite one, the one that they're interested in walking. Just like the sponsors, the sponsor will end up picking one of these dogs, which may end up getting adopted, and then they'll have another one. But ideally, these 10 doggies will go to the event. They'll go to docks. They'll be either groomed or bathed. They'll have their assigned volunteer, and the volunteer will take them out of their kennel, walk them around the area. When it's time to show them off on the catwalk, they strut their stuff with their little dogs, and usually they pick dogs that they already know. So, for example, a really great volunteer she was Volunteer of the Year a couple years ago, Robin Redmond. She'll pick a dog that she knows will sit and do sit down for a treat or shake or behave, and she'll show them off. She'll show them off to the community that are sitting there watching how well this dog is behaved and outside of its kennel.
It's always interesting too. We never know what dogs, like you mentioned, so many get adopted. In the beginning, we kind of assigned it early, and we put a picture out there and everything. We were putting everything together, and then I'd have to redo it, and then put it out there and redo it, and seriously, like the day of, I'm still printing stuff. So it got to be. We've learned a lot since then, and so we're a little more generalistic now. We wait till the last minute in terms of which show dogs are going going to be the final selection. So it's a little bit of a mystery to the public, but it still all works out great, and they're wonderful dogs. But you never know who's going to be there. Do you remember what was the little dog's name? It was like a little bulldog or
the little bulldog,
Cupcake.
Cupcake.
Yeah. She was in the wagon.
In the wagon.
She was the wagon doggy.
That dog couldn't make it that far, so we ended up having to put it in a wagon.
Won Best of Show last year.
Still won Best of Show.
Yes.
It was super cute. Yeah, so you never know who's going to be in the show. We've had a number of fantastic dogs that turn out Best of Show. And so what we do is, like you said, Arlene, we walk them in and introduce them to everybody. We do a few different laps there, and then we'll bring them out one by one a couple of times so that everybody gets a really great view of the dogs, and especially those judges. So we have some fantastic judges that are going to be at the show, and we don't want to reveal that yet. We'll reveal that later on, but we do have some great judges that have shown their interest in being part of this great event. And we wanted to kind of tip our hat again to some of our local leaders and some of our local folks who serve our community. And so we're kind of doing that this year.
We can call them our local celebrities.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. They get a chance to then view the dogs and actually score them. And then we tally up those scores to kind of get kind of a order of 10. Now, everybody ends up winning usually some kind of a little award, like you said, the best wiggle butt or, best smile kind of thing. And then they also get some participation ribbons and things for being there, being selected. And then we also do some wonderful top dogs, 1, 2, and 3, best in show. And somebody ends up taking the trophy and the medal home, and that goes to the people who adopt that dog, right?
Yes, I gotta say, I've been a judge the past 2 events, and I'm kind of glad that I won't have to do that this time because it is hard. It is so hard, and I probably overthink it more than I should. But I'll be like, oh, look at that one; it's just so sweet, and I already know them, so I'm a little biased too. But they got the cutest tail wag, but then you see this other one and it's like you're adjusting the scores, and I'm like, but I want this one to have this. And anyway, it's just so hard to decide because they're just all amazing dogs, more than you can imagine. And so I'm really glad that somebody else is going to be judging, because it's just not easy when you want to love them all, and they're all beautiful dogs.
Well, I think some part of that too, I think some of those judges, because they were just like you, people were given like quarter points. I was like, I can't add this up in my head. And I'm trying to, it's very fast between dog to dog and trying to add them all up and give the awards out. I was like, oh my gosh, this is tough.
When you saw my sheet, it was all scribbled because you're supposed to rank them between this number and that number. And I was like, oh, this is my number 7. No, this one's my number 7. So I kept scratching things out, and then the sheets had to be turned in. I don't think anything added up. Really, it was complicated.
I will put it that way. It is a little bit tough to get them all put together.
It's still so significant. People don't realize that these little things are so significant for these animals. You're not just taking them out of the shelter environment. You're helping them be more social and become more adoptable, get more attention, be viewed. But also, they get these cute little ribbons, and even though they don't get adopted maybe that day, but we get to attach those ribbons or the little certificate to their paperwork. And when people are interested in that particular dog and we show them what we've done, they're like, oh, that is so cute. And, it makes them even more excited about getting the dog that won best tail wag at Pups on Parade.
Right.
Just all these little things do add up to positive outcomes for these animals.
And Diane, you've walked the dogs before in the show, and I've seen you strut your dog down there. They just seem so excited and so happy.
They are. And I think it's so great for people to come who are really interested in adopting a dog, because the dog walkers that are going to be there, they're the most familiar with the dog.
That's true.
So
they
any
can give
question
you lots of
they may
information.
have, like, does this dog get along with cats? Does this dog get along with children? Does it get along with other people? And there's somebody there that really knows the dog and has spent a lot of time with the dog that you have right there to ask.
That's true.
So it's such a great time to come out and look if you're interested in adopting a dog.
And that's such a great point. A lot of people will message me or call me, text message me or messenger. They'll send me messages asking, hey, what do you know about this dog? What do you know about that dog? And I'll tell them, I gotta be honest, I'm kind of behind the scenes. I don't know the dogs as well as I maybe should. Ask this volunteer, ask that volunteer. I know this is this person's favorite.
Right.
You know, the volunteers are the ones who get to know the dogs so much better than any of the rest of the staff.
Right.
And they are the ones that could give you more accurate information. We could give you a little bit of history from when they came in and why they came in and what the previous owner said about that dog or cat. Let's mention cats too. But until you spend time with them, you just really don't know. And the volunteers get to do that.
They spend so many hours with them every single day. So, Aaron, I wanted to ask you about kind of what we're talking about, the flow of the show and everything. One of the things you guys do, of course, is meanwhile in the background, speaking of background, you guys are cooking away. Yeah. And you guys are providing food and drinks, and we have some cool little specials that are kind of pup-oriented, I guess we would say.
We usually do a mini corn dog special. We'll do a Colorado Bulldog special. That's a drink. It's a ways out yet. Still November.
Still shaking out the details.
We're still figuring out what we're going to do, but Spam fries always seem to be, Dion's favorites.
I know they are my favorite. I love those things. Yeah. But I know that your wife's not here, but Victoria, she's slaving away in the kitchen every time. I always feel bad because you only get to see her for minutes here and there, and at the finale where we get all the dogs and line them up, then maybe she'll be able to sneak away for a few minutes to say hello to the pups and everything. But she's a huge part of this.
She is, and she absolutely loves this event. We ended up taking, I think it was the second one, we took a dog home.
Yeah.
We have to be very, very careful when we do this event because we have too many dogs.
It's tough. It's tough. You always want to take them all home. Yeah. And the more of these events that you go to, the more you kind of see this dog or that dog in such a different light. Like you were saying, Diane, that these dogs act so differently, when they're out on the runway or in a different surrounding. And like you were talking about, they're confined in small space in their kennel and everything, which is good for a lot of reasons, but at the same time, that's why it's so important to get them out for these kinds of events and for their daily walks and all those kinds of things. One of the things I wanted to ask Aaron about this sponsorships, right? So, and I'm going to attribute this to you because I think you came up with the idea of sponsorships. We've been doing this for a number of years now, so it just starts to fade a little bit. But
that's all right. I'll take credit.
Yeah, you'll take credit. I think you were. I think you really were the person who can. Hey, let's sponsor these dogs out and get businesses to put their name on one of these pups.
Absolutely, yeah. So each business can adopt or can sponsor a dog, and it pays for whatever fees that are associated with that dog prior to it becoming adopted.
Right.
And it helps to offset that adoption fee.
Right. Yeah.
And the beauty of it is it's in November. So if your fiscal year ends in October, sign up now. And if it ends in December, sign up now.
Right. I know there's good opportunities either way, or you look at it.
Yeah. So when we first started out, I think it was, I can't remember how much it was, but
I know it's going to come around a little bit, but it's barely raised any. So we're $300 for the show dogs, which is kind of really a nominal sponsorship fee when you think about it.
Yeah.
Especially, and Arlene, I'm going to turn to you in a minute, just asking about the costs of what go into a dog to get them ready for adoption, but pretty small sponsorship fee for a business, and that's for the 10 show dogs.
Right.
And we do the other ones as well.
And those 10 show dogs. So we put you were talking earlier about the dogs getting adopted out.
Right.
The first year we were putting those slides up at Docs and we were putting them all over our social media. And so these dogs were getting out there, as sponsored by these individuals. So not only were the sponsors getting airtime, but the dogs were too, and it ended up getting them adopted out, and then you had more work because you had to swap them
faster and faster. And we definitely do. That's one of the good things, in terms of sponsorships. There's $300 for sponsoring a dog. You also get your logo up there, and we put it up on the big screens at Docs.
We do, and we live broadcast inside. So if it's still too hot out, come on into Docs. We've got the silent auction on the dance floor, but we've got the TVs and Shotgun Sherry, our Saturday night DJ.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Every year she comes in and does a good job talking about the dogs and talking about the sponsorships. And you can hear that inside or outside. So we've got it broadcast, inside and out. Yeah, so it's great coverage. It's a great cause.
Yeah. No,
so
for
get
sure.
signed up now because there's only 10 dogs.
Only 10 dogs at the top level.
Right. So
now, when we come back, we're going to tell you about how you can sponsor also the dogs that get left behind at the shelter the same day. Let's do that. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back after our sponsors, and then we'll come back and talk about how you can get involved. We'll be right back. From the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios, this is Keepin' It Real.
Do uneasy markets have you waiting for the ideal moment to make home ownership a reality? Your answer lies in a conversation with Sherry Ethell and her exceptional team at Long Realty, a name synonymous with trust and reliability in Arizona's real estate landscape.
Hi, I'm Sherry Ethell, Realtor and Team CEO of the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty. Your ideal moment has arrived. We tailor our approach to you and your needs and goals. Let us put our extensive network to work for you and take the stress out of the process.
Whether buying or selling, remember the name Sherry Ethell and the Sherry Ethell Team. Visit the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard in Sierra Vista. Call or text 717-599-2439 or Google us for more information. Real integrity, real results.
All right, welcome back to Keepin' It Real. I'm Dion Ethell. I'm your host, and this is Keepin' It Real, brought to you by Sherry Ethell and the team right here at Long Realty Studios. I'm joined with Aaron from Doc's Watering Hole.
Hey, everybody.
Diane, who's one of our wonderful volunteers, a member of our executive staff with the Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter.
Hello, everyone.
And I've got Arlene Garcia, SVPD supervisor over at the Nancy J.
Hi.
So we're talking about Pups on Parade. This is November 7th by 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And so we're hosting this in the kind of the early part of the winter just because it's a cooler time and everything. So if you're just tuning in, we've been talking about the order of events and the things that go on, but we were also talking about sponsorships. And like Aaron and I were talking about, it's $300 for a business to sponsor a dog. And only until those are sold out.
Right. Yeah. There's only 10 dogs because, we've only got so many hours in the day. And, so we've got 10 dogs that are showcased. But if you don't get signed up to sponsor those 10 dogs, you can still sponsor the dogs that are back in the kennel.
Right, because some get left behind that day, right?
Yeah, well, I mean,
we can't bring them all. We'd love to, but 100 animals would be a little bit much there. We'd probably get some other entity out there telling us we're doing it wrong. Besides, that'd be bananas. One of the things we do is we do honor the dogs that are left behind at the shelter, and it's $150 to sponsor one of those. You don't have to be a business. You can be
an individual,
just somebody who wants to help get one of these dogs adopted. So we have a number of people who just, as a family, sponsor a dog, so hoping to get them adopted. And again, we were talking about the fees. So, Arlene, this costs a lot of money to be able to get a pet ready for adoption, right?
Yes. So to adopt a dog at the shelter, it only costs $75 to the community or to the adopter. But I consider that as more like a donation because the $75 really doesn't cover not even a bag of food anymore nowadays, right?
Right.
Okay, so the dogs at the shelter, besides getting fed twice a day and, they get their snacks and wet food and all sorts of things, sometimes they need their medications. We get them sterilized, microchipped, rabies vaccinated. When they first come in, we'll give them their puppy parvo vaccine, and then we follow up with another vaccine a couple weeks later. If it's a puppy, we give them the entire series. We also give them a Bordetella vaccine, but also the daily care. If we find a little something that might look like an infection, we'll take them to the vet and get all those things checked out, because when they get adopted, we want them to go home in the best condition possible, in the best condition that we're able to help this animal be in. But also the Friends helps us out with that, but it's not cheap.
And if you were just an average citizen paying for this, it could be quite a bit, hundreds of dollars, if not 1,000 or more.
You can't even get a large dog sterilized for $300.
Yeah.
So
small price to pay.
It is a small price to pay, and luckily we are partnered with veterinary clinics in this area that help us, at a discounted rate. But things are still going up every year, and it's just it's not enough. So the $300 is a wonderful way to help us get a little bit of relief.
And it's tax deductible, right?
Yeah.
So tax deductible is a good thing.
It is.
We're a 501c3 with
no...
Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter, so it's a great opportunity to give back to the community, deduct it off your taxes, and like say $300. I mean, it's a small price to pay really for a sponsorship. And like I say, we're going to throw your name of your business and your logo and everything all over the place. We'll put it on our socials. We'll put it on the websites. We'll get it out there, and it's going to be fun.
So the ones that are left behind in the kennel, there's a picture of them.
Yeah.
If I'm right.
Yep.
And your name or logo goes on the picture with them and their name. So it goes up on the wall.
Yep.
And everybody walking by can see it. And
yeah, and only $150 for those, so a little bit less expensive. Just because we're not giving you that highlight at the show for those sponsored dogs that are in the actual show, but still
and that
worthy.
Picture of you sponsoring them will be on their kennels too at the shelter until they get adopted. So.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah,
that's right. So that sponsorship pretty much continues on until that dog finds a home.
So, Aaron, when we're talking about the event and everything, so there's food, there's music, there's all kinds of things going on. There's a lot of stuff going out on the patio. Hopefully your patio will be all finished by then.
Oh, here's hoping.
We'll cross our fingers for that. But needless to say, the weather should be pretty good during that time of the year.
Yeah.
So it'll be great. And we always put up the canopies. You're so gracious to allow us to get out there and put up canopies and seating. And we can seat a lot of people out there.
We can, yeah. I want to say we've had like 100 chairs out there.
Yeah. I think that's just in the seating that's under the canopies, and then there's additional seating on the patio area, and of course there's seating inside, and you can watch that live feed and enjoy your food or whatever. Likewise, too, we also usually have a vendor, and we usually have an adoption table, and of course our silent auction, right?
Yes. Actually, a silent auction takes up a majority of the dance
space.
Floor. Yeah. And then we have there's one vendor that keeps coming back every year, and she just loves dogs.
We love them for doing that. We love being able to show off their wares and everything, so you can buy some stuff there. From the vendor, but likewise too, we have a table for the adoptions. But one of the important things is the silent auction items that we give out. Tell us a little bit about that, Diane. What's that look like on the inside with Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter?
Well, the Friends have been working all year round to gather up items and make beautiful baskets. We have a gal on our board that's really good at making the baskets, Michelle. And we try to get donations. We buy things ourselves. And we are looking for anybody that wants to donate anything that we can put in the silent auction to make more money for the pups.
Absolutely. And so these could be something that they have already put into a basket. It could be something that we put into a basket, right?
Right. Just
so it doesn't even have to be.
Item.
They could just bring some items that we could put into another basket.
Mm-hmm.
Could be really gift cards. Oh yeah, I never
gift
thought about that.
Certificates.
Sure. Other prizes too. It might not even be dog related. Sometimes we've gotten some donations that were kind of people
really
related.
Nice purses.
Yeah, we had a purse last year and stuff, and those went really well. So anything, maybe it's your business that you have out there that you sell certain kinds of wares, and that would be something that would be super appropriate to be able to donate. We'll put happy to put your name and everything in it.
Something for our silent auction, they can bring it to Long Realty and drop it off with you, right?
Absolutely.
Dion? Yeah.
Absolutely. You can drop it off here. Just ask for Sherry Ethell, and she'll take it for you. And she's kind of keeping track of all of our donations and our sponsorships this year. And so Sherry, being one of the big sponsors of the event, wants to be able to help participate in one of the things she does. She's very good with numbers, obviously.
Right. And
so she does a lot of that background work and keeps track of that.
And the nice thing about it is 100% of everything we make goes straight to the animals for either the spay and neuter clinics or for medical needs. It's 100% everything goes to the pups.
That's a great point. I mean, so the Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter, nobody's paid, and we have our board, our volunteer cadre, and nobody's paid for any of the work that gets done. It's all volunteerism, and we're all just trying to do our part in the community. But one of the things that we obviously need from you is these kinds of auction items. So anything that you can chip in and help out with, and even if you want to just, hey, I've got a little bit of money that I'd like to put towards an auction item, we'll go buy it. We'll go take care of it.
Yeah.
Just get a hold of us and let us know that you're interested in being a participant in some way. And if you're a business and want to donate, we'll be happy to put your logo, or you want to put your business cards in there. That's totally fine too. We accept that. And
this event is such a great opportunity for businesses to put their name out there and show the community that they are a part of the community and caring for the animals, because you can sponsor a dog and your logo can go on that and your name, right? You can sponsor one of the ones that gets left behind, quote unquote left behind, and we'll put their little poster with your logo on their kennel. But then you can pick one or the other. You can do it all. You can donate an item, and that item can say, sponsored by, and it's just a really great opportunity to get the name of your business out there, and always doing something for the greater good just catches people's attention.
Absolutely. And if you want to donate and sponsor let's say you want to sponsor a show dog, but you also want to sponsor some of the shelter dogs that are left behind. We've had a number of businesses do that as well.
Oh, yeah, sponsor more than one dog.
We've had some who have sponsored as many as 10 other dogs left at the shelter besides their show dog. So that's awesome. We love that because honestly, even if there were only 50 dogs at the shelter and we had 100 sponsors, that means we are ahead of the game because we know it's going to happen, right?
Yes.
Arlene, we know we're going to get more.
Yeah. We are continuously full. We've continued to be full. We do have a little bit of wiggle room right now, but in one, out one.
That could change.
It can change. We could have a hoarding situation. We could have over the 4th of July weekend. I think we took in about 6, even though some of them went back home. But still, yes, the shelter is always going to be busy.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, also for our silent auction, if anybody wanted to donate services, if you like massages or yoga classes or dog training.
That's a great point.
Anything. If you're a small business and you want to get out there and you want to show what you have to offer, go ahead and donate us something that we can put in silent auction. So,
that's absolutely true. And even if you weren't a dog groomer or a dog trainer, you could, donate dog training from another company. So you're helping sponsor, and fuel, some other business here in town and support your local businesses through your business.
Right.
So you can really help a lot in a lot of different ways. There's just so many different ways and angles we can do this. So we're just happy to accept your donation and to be able to, fund this for another year. Well, I want to talk more about it and get down to some of the nitty gritty in terms of what to expect there and how you can bring your own animals and things like that. But I want to do that right after the break. We'll be right back with Keepin' It Real, brought to you by Sherry Ethell and the team right here at Long Realty Studios. We'll be right back, folks.
We're the real wayfinders, the trailblazers, the go-getters. In a town where the desert wakes before dawn, we don't just talk, we make things happen. And when we speak, it's real, it's genuine, and it's worth hearing. Tune in every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on Cool 104.1 FM. Join the Sherry Ethell Team for Keepin' It Real, where top realtors, local heroes, and the heartbeat of our community come together. Raw, authentic conversations, expert market insights, and the best local events you can't afford to miss. Keepin' It Real, celebrating our community. Bold, genuine, one of a kind.
In a town with heart and history, the Sherry Ethell Team is the key. Serving service that we agree. For military law and retirees. Stress-free process you will see. Personal care is our guarantee. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team, we never halt. Real experts here to guide your way, making dreams come true every single day. Trusted team that knows just what to do. The Sherry Ethell Team, working for you. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team is your one and only call.
All right, welcome back to Keepin' It Real. I'm Dion Ethell, and I am joined by Diane, Aaron, and our wonderful Arlene Garcia from the Nancy J. Brua Animal Care Center. Now, we're talking about Pups on Parade. If you're just tuning in, that's November 7th. Put it on your calendar, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a great event. It's an all-shelter dog show pageant. And it's just a lot of fun. You don't have to have a dog. You don't have to sponsor a dog. You don't have to adopt a dog. This could be for anybody. Could be just bring your family down. It's a family affair. It's a family event. It's all 100% free. So you can come down and have a good time. And if you can donate, great. We'd love to have that. If you can sponsor a dog, that's even better. If you can sponsor several dogs, that's wonderful. Businesses, we would love to see that you sponsor some animals for us. And we'll present your logo and your name out there in a lot of different ways on socials and business spotlights on the show, as well as on the various platforms inside Doc's Watering Hole. One of the things we want to talk about, though, is the event itself and kind of get back to where we started. So we're going to do some things. We always had a little intermission, and so we talked about kind of, we lead the dogs through in front of the judges. They do some judging, and we do that a couple times, but we take a little break in the middle. Sometimes we do demonstrations. This year we're doing something different.
Yes, I am so excited. So speaking of sponsorships, Concord General Contracting sponsored for the pup run that happened a few months ago a really cool foam machine.
Yeah.
And so there was a foam party that happened at the pup run, and the organization...
Everybody loved it.
Yes, it was very
especially
cool.
the kids.
Mm-hmm. So the organization who has that foam machine is coming to our event with that sponsorship from Concord and going to allow us to use this foam machine. We're having a foam party for the dogs at intermission time.
Yeah, and we're still trying to figure out the details of how we might do that, whether we do some in the beginning and then we do some in the intermission. But for sure, we're going to have this really fun foam party, and that'll be fun. And we're hoping that we can allow, obviously we'll have our dogs there from the Nancy J, and then maybe there might be a few people will usually bring their dog every once in a while. In the beginning, we kind of said no to dogs, right? And we should probably talk about that a little bit.
We are allowing for the public to bring their well-behaved dog to this event if they would like to bring them. We just ask that you sit in the back or just keep your distance from the shelter dogs, especially the catwalk area.
Right.
Yeah, we just want to keep distance. We don't...
Well, it's kind of a distraction, right? If nothing else, even if it's not dangerous, it's a distraction for them.
It can be a distraction, and we just want to keep everybody safe and, keep the energy down a little bit. So, just if you're going to bring your well-behaved dog, please just sit in the back and keep your distance from the shelter dogs. Later on, if there's one that you're interested in and you'd like to do a meet and greet, we can definitely arrange that. Now, once we figure out the logistics of the foam party, maybe we'll have a few minutes for the shelter dogs to play in the foam party.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll have a few minutes for our Publix dogs to play in the foam party.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out.
We'll mix it up somehow.
Absolutely. But we want you to enjoy the day, maybe cool off, because you brought up a really good point. You don't have to adopt. You don't have to sponsor. You don't have to donate or do any of those things. You can just come and have a great day with your friends, your family.
Support the community, support the event.
Yep, just have a good time.
Maybe shop the silent auction, look at the vendors.
Yeah, there's always some great stuff in there.
Get some great food and drinks.
Yeah, it's something to do. I'll never forget that for the last the last event, the last Pups on Parade last November, there was a really nice couple who brought their little girl, and they dressed her up with the prettiest pup dress. I mean, she had a dress with all these little doggy designs on it, and she's just absolutely adorable. She was dressed for the occasion, and that's what I love to see. Just the friends and family and community just getting involved and being supportive in those ways. Showing up is being supportive.
Absolutely. And you get a little bit of time before the show starts after the show ends, but also at intermission, to be able to hang out with the dogs, go get a hug from a dog, go hang out. And the dogs, they love it. I mean, this is their day, right? And so what a great thing you're doing. And that in itself is kind of a contribution, right? Kind of making their day.
Absolutely. And another way you can maybe help us out is just to spread the word. You can be there and invite your friends to come hang out with you, or even if they didn't come out with you, you can tell them, oh my gosh, you need to come next year. So 100%. Spreading the word will always help. That's
the more
what
the
this
merrier.
Is about. It's spreading awareness, and
we'd love to see all the chairs filled. This year we'd love to have everybody there. We actually get a lot of sponsorships. We get a lot of people participate monetarily. But we also want a lot of people there, right? And so even if you can't support us monetarily, come be there, come hang out, see the dogs, see the show, and just enjoy yourself, and don't worry about it too much, because we'd love to be able to have all those seats filled. Yeah. I mean, that's really kind of what it's all about, and give the dogs their day.
And if you're an owner of a small business or some location locally, and you're able at a bare minimum to put up the flyers to the event to invite people to come to the event, that
absolutely.
would be incredibly helpful too.
Yeah, and we've got a real strong supply of them right here at Long Realty, and so you can come by and pick some up, or you can get them right there at the shelter. We'll kind of keep them filled with some of the flyers, so you can put them up in your businesses. Or if you see a Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter volunteer coming around, I hope you'll allow them to throw up a sign in your window or something, and definitely talk to you about sponsorships and what that means.
There are so many ways you can contribute to helping the animals in our community, and it doesn't have to be necessarily with donating or sponsoring, but you could also have your own little event that could benefit our local animals. And Doc's has one, once a month?
They've been all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've been to them.
One of the great things that Doc's has is Doc's Yappy Hour. That's every Tuesday through Friday from 2 to 5 p.m. And you can bring your well-behaved pup there, be on the deck with them, or their
patio.
Their patio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, the patio.
And you get 10% off of all their appetizers, and $1 from each Tito's cocktail will be donated to the Friends of the Animal Shelter, which will help us with events like this.
That is great.
No,
Pups
that's
and
really
booze.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, it's a shame that I'll be working unless I have to call in sick.
Or get there before 5 o'clock, Tuesday through Friday.
I think Tito's even donated like a little dog house and some cool stuff out there for the patio and everything.
So it's fun for the dogs. They have water out there for them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
some cool stuff.
They should call it the Puppy-O or something like that.
Yeah,
right.
Give it a little
Well,
name.
we might have to give it a new name, right?
Yeah.
Once he gets that shelter built over the top.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron, you got work to do there. Maybe you'll see us there on a Friday if you're there, but there's so many opportunities to be able to be part of this. And we see everybody, we host Celebrating Animals every year in the spring, and it's always a great time. We see so many people. We'd love to see all of you out at Pups on Parade this year. We'd love to see you show up for this event. We see so many great people come out and so many wonderful animals. Again, we are allowing animals this year just as long as they're friendly and they're well behaved and on a leash. And just make sure that if you're unsure about where they can go, because they can't go inside the building, like Aaron said, they are restricted outside.
And I know we've talked about a lot of things, and it's going to be hard to remember all of it. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to give us a call at the Nancy J. Brua Animal Care Center.
Absolutely.
You can ask for me, Arlene Garcia, and I can provide you with whatever information you need. And our phone number is 520-458-4151. But if you come visit the shelter, it might be even better. We're located at 6799 East Highway 90, open Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturdays from 12 to 5.
That's awesome. And Diane, I know one of the things we're going to have there, so for those people who just have a few bucks they want to donate, why not donate by buying a T-shirt? We have some cool T-shirts, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We have several designs, and we're hoping to get a few more. So if you've been 2 events that we've had and already got yourself a T-shirt. We're going to have a few new ones.
Yeah, we're hoping to have some new ones for that event.
By then. And so we have some T-shirts for sale that all the proceeds on those go back to the animals.
Yeah, we also have fun stickers with some of the same designs and some new ones to be able to put on your water bottles and everything. Yeah, so if you collect those, here's an opportunity to just for a few bucks to get that or to get one of our $20 T-shirts. And they have great little sayings like, be the man your dog thinks you are. I rescue animal, what's your superpower? Those kinds of things. So there's all kinds of fun designs on these things. Less people, more paws, all kinds of stuff.
Easily distracted by dogs.
Yeah. So, and we've got some new ones, and we'll be throwing out some more stuff as we kind of progress on as we get closer. But again, Pups on Parade, this is the 4th annual event. It's a Saturday, so it's easy to be able to come to. The whole family can come. It's a family-friendly event. And, cheer on your favorite dog.
You know what? We're giving you notice, fair notice with enough time. So pull out your phone right now while you're listening and add it to your calendar just leave November 7th for Pups on Parade.
Absolutely. And it's 11 to 2 p.m. and either come for all or part of that time. We do have a little bit of intermission so people can kind of grab drinks and be able to get cooled off, go use the restroom, those kinds of things. Or this year, you're going to maybe be able to play in a foam party there, and that'll be kind of fun. And so it's a great opportunity to get out and support your local animal shelter and support the community in a way that just is heartfelt. And once you see these animals, you'll understand. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's very rewarding.
One last thing I want to kind of talk about is on the caring side for animals and everything. So we never know what the weather's going to be. We just don't in Arizona. It's one of those things, even though it's in November, still could be warm. Sometimes we've had it. It's kind of warm, kind of toasty. So if you are bringing your animal and everything, some things to think about, Arlene?
Yes, for one, make sure that it's on a secure leash. We do not recommend the retractable leashes. They're kind of unpredictable, not very strong or secure. So please make sure that your pet is on a secure leash with a collar or harness. But also there's going to be water, of course, but maybe bring a little disposable bowl or one of those little collapsible bowls, something to have available for your pet to stay cool, keep them off of the hot pavement. We're going to have our adoption trailer there, so our shelter dogs will have a break to cool off indoors in our adoption trailer because it is air conditioned. But you won't have that for your dog, so just keep that in mind. If it's going to be a hot day, you don't want them to be out there the whole time and not be able to get some relief.
Right.
So just to be on the safe side, be very aware of what the weather and the temperature is going to be like on that day.
Good advice there. Be thinking about, too, if you're bringing your children and everything. Children, they love to run right up to a dog. Always ask, especially if it's not one of the shelter animals, too. You don't have a professional maybe with that animal like you might have, or a volunteer who can tell you something about the animal. So some of these dogs, they might be a little unpredictable if there's somebody else's, just showing up at the event. So please be safe. Always ask your owner as to whether or not your dog can be petted. And some dogs may even be working that day, right? There may be some visitors who bring their service dog.
Their service dog. You make a really good point. And really, this applies to any dog in any situation when you're out with your kids. Dogs are really cute and they might seem friendly, but you just never know, because something that we forget is that no matter how lovey-dovey they are, dogs are still animals, and you can never underestimate the power of animal instinct. You don't know what could set an animal off in any instance, something. So just to stay safe and to teach your children on how to approach a dog, to ask the owner first, and to ask the owner, is it okay if I pet him from the side or front? Ask that owner what is the preferred method of saying hello to their pet.
Yeah, great advice, great advice. Well, I appreciate all you guys coming out on the show today. Thank you for coming in here. Again, this is Doc's Watering Hole, November 7th, 2026, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.,
That brings us to the end of another Keepin' It Real radio show, and we just want to say a big thank you for letting us be a small part of your weekend. Whether you're a longtime listener or just caught us for the first time today, we're so glad you're here. Got something you'd love us to talk about? Maybe a local story, a cool event, maybe a guest idea. Maybe you're related to or know someone who has an interesting story, profession, or past. We would love to hear from you, so drop it in our Keepin' It Real suggestion box at Long Realty. We're located just behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard. Or if it's easier, you can email me directly at sherry@sherryethelteam.com or call me or text me at 717-599-2439. This is your show, and it's all about our community, our connections, and the what's up of Cochise County, and as always, keeping things real. And your voice will help shape what we do next. We'll see you next Saturday from 7 to 8 a.m. right here on 104.1 Cool FM, making radio cool again.
What's in a name? Everything. Long Realty has been a cornerstone of Southern Arizona's real estate market for nearly 100 years. Our name is our bond, and our agents are our strength. Trust in the name that stands for experience and expertise. Visit longrealty.com or call 520-459-4993 to connect with an agent today. Long Realty. Smart move.
Join us next Saturday for more engaging interviews with top realtors and industry leaders, keeping you informed about the latest trends in real estate. Stay connected with us as we bring you updates on the dynamic events shaping our vibrant community. From exciting local happenings to noteworthy charities and causes, we've got you covered. See you next week for another edition of Keepin' It Real.